Hi guys, this is Miss Niebling, and you're going to learn another smiley face trick today. Remember that smiley face tricks are the tools that good writers use in their writing to make their readers smile. You've already learned 7 of the smiley face tricks. Today you're going to be learning number 8. It's called a full circle ending. So make sure to use that as your title as you write these notes in the next empty section of your spiral. Make sure to copy this whole slide down into your notes. Alright, the definition of a full circle ending is where the writer repeats a phrase or echoes an idea at the end of a piece of writing after using it in the beginning of that same piece of writing. It's just like a circle, a cycle, where you're able to see the beginning connect to the end and the end connect to the beginning. Just like a circle, it repeats itself. Good writers know that a full circle ending allows the reader to connect the beginning of the writing with the end of the writing. It makes the progression of the writing feel a lot more smooth and seamless. It also provides a way for the writer to make their writing memorable, something that people are going to look back on and remember the details about. A full circle ending provides closure and a way to wrap up the piece of writing. Plus, the part that people always forget is at the beginning. We remember what we recently read. The beginning sometimes gets forgotten. A full circle ending reminds the reader of what they said they were going to write about at the beginning and ensures that you remember what they wrote about at the end. Now, a full circle ending can be used in all sorts of different types of writing. You could use this with creative writing, such as writing a narrative. You could use a full circle ending when you're writing a paragraph that is explanatory, when you're trying to explain something like a appeal paragraph. And a full circle ending could be used in all sorts of different papers or reports or articles. So we're going to be looking at some different types of writing to see how you can use this in real life. The first example comes from a newspaper article all about health and fitness. The reach for health and fitness sometimes seems like that crazy whack-a-mole game that little kids play. Just as you swing away at one little foam mole, that one disappears, and another one pops up. You flail away foolishly. The moles mock you. Besides being a great example of alliteration at work in writing, this beginning is memorable because we can all imagine playing that whack-a-mole game and seeing how it connects with health and fitness. But let's see how they're able to use this idea and connect back to it at the end of the newspaper article. So you see, if you keep whacking at the mole, you score a direct hit every now and then. By repeating the phrase, whacking at the mole, you're connecting back to the beginning of that article. It provides a way to remind the reader of that visual, and it makes the article more powerful. Okay, the next example is what's used in an argumentative speech. A cigarette is a hidden stick of dynamite with a slowly burning fuse. The dynamite may take a long time to ignite, and until it does, nothing seems to be in danger. By comparing a cigarette to a stick of dynamite, it's not only a great way to use a metaphor, but it's also showing the reader a different way to think about a cigarette habit. So now let's look and see how they make this memorable by repeating this idea at the end of their argumentative speech. While a cigarette is like a hidden stick of dynamite that could destroy many people's lives, it can only be harmful if someone lights the fuse in the first place. By echoing this idea of a cigarette being like a hidden stick of dynamite, once again, it's made memorable and it's something that we can connect to as a reader. Last example. This is how a high school student wrote a narrative. High school alone is the hardest part of any teenager's life, but when it gets mixed in with an awkward adolescent's idea of liking someone, life turns into a whirlwind emotional adventure. Like my plate wasn't overflowing already with a chemistry teacher who called me Crash, a name I acquired after dropping a beaker during our first lab. A sassy algebra teacher who said that I didn't have the aptitude for the subject. Or a French teacher who flirted with the class and laughed at her own jokes. No, I complicated things even further because stupid me fell in love. So this is how this person was able to end their narrative. Then the pain lifted from my body like a heavy weight and was replaced by a feeling of accomplishment and relief. I made it through the grueling torture of a high school crush and lived to tell about it. There existed no class project hard enough or cafeteria food indigestible enough to even compare. Now, this time they didn't necessarily use the same words to repeat. However, they did echo the same idea about living through a torture of a high school crush. By repeating this idea, we remember what this author used at the beginning of their writing. All right. This is the end of the examples. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to really practice this right now because this is something that needs to be a natural fit in whatever you're writing. So pay attention in the future because I'm going to ask you to practice this important smiley face trick in different things that you're writing. Remember, a full circle ending is most powerful when you're trying to help the reader remember what you've been writing about in a piece of writing. All right, thanks for listening, guys.